This is one of the toughest parts of Warzone 2, consistently finding people. And I know that a lot of you are struggling with this. So today, we're going to be going over 8 ways to find more enemies while actually breaking down a high kill game. Now, I want you to quickly note the lobby size here. I mean, Al Mazrah is huge. We probably need about 200 people. We are dropping in here with a 2/3 full lobby. I mean, only 92 other enemies. So it's going to be challenging for us to find people, yet we still drop a high kill game. Now, I've got 4 main things and then 4 kind of smaller things that'll help you out. But starting off here with the number 1, the most important, which is bounty contracts. I need you to understand that bounty contracts are meta in Warzone 2. They solve our 2 biggest issues. Issue number 1, information. Marks a team on the map, let's go kill them. Issue number 2 is cash flow. And this is probably the bigger one because cash flow is really bad in this game, yet cash is king. We can't find a ton of money in crates. We don't find a ton of money on the ground, yet we have to buy our primary guns and buy UAVs. So bounty contracts really solve our 2 biggest issues. Now, throughout this game, what you're going to see is us driving 300, 400, 500 meters to actually get those bounty contracts. This way we can figure out where people are and get our cash flow. Now, when it comes to UAVs, let's talk about UAVs for a second here. UAVs, much harder to come by. Limited in buy stations. You can buy 1. Sometimes there's 0. Sometimes, occasionally, with the new exploit, there's 2. But overall, they're much harder to come by. So when we are rotating around, whether it's to a bounty or wherever it may be, if we come near a buy station and have enough, we're going to check that for a UAV. We're going to stockpile them as much as we can until we need them. Now, as we're rolling up here on the bounty contract, we know they're close by. I'm going to give it one slight ping, one more ping to figure out where he is, and now we can go ahead and push. Now, right here, we really see how valuable the UAVs are. And I do want to talk about buying guns versus getting UAVs here in a second. But right here, you know, we got 1 to our left, or 2 to our left, 1 on our level, 1 above, and we've got 2 over to our right, which makes it much easier to challenge here. As I'm pushing in, I know exactly what I'm pushing into. And keep in mind, Ghost doesn't really work in this game, so everybody is going to be on radar. As I push in, we're going to go ahead and break 1, tag 1, Zach gets 1. Now we're going to go ahead and push in. I'm able to pick up 1 kill right there. TCAP's going to take out the bounty contract, and we are rocking and rolling. Now, when it comes to buying a UAV versus buying a primary gun, UAVs are way more important, in my opinion. I think that is the strategy, which is I'd rather have good floor loot guns and know where people are so that I can easily challenge and get clean kills versus having a primary gun and wandering out in the open. With that being said, 9,000 is going to be your magic number. That gives you enough for a UAV and 1 primary gun. But if you don't have enough, focus on the UAVs first. And here, right here is why. We're going to end up buying a UAV, but we're not going to pop it. And this is the situation a lot of you get caught in. You're wandering a little bit out in the open. You're not totally sure. Let me go ahead and fast forward this just a little bit here. Not totally sure where people are. You don't have any information. You're just kind of running out and about. What ends up happening, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get shot in the back here. Absolutely nothing I can do with the insanely fast TTK. So that is where UAVs are extremely valuable. Let's go ahead and fast forward here. I'm going to go to Gouge. We'll break down Goose real quick, and then we'll get back into some strategies. We talked about Gulag. Let's go ahead and do this way and fast forward 10 seconds. First thing, guys, as soon as the buzzer sounds, make sure you're checking the outlines of the enemies. You can generally see where they're going. In this case, they end up staying stationary, so don't get a ton of information. Generally, you'll be able to see which way they're pushing. I've got 2 guys rotating left. I know exactly where they are, so we're going to use the Semtex, throw that back there. We've now tagged both. Other thing that I want to highlight about pistols, guys, pistols have no recoil. Okay, they reset back to where you're aiming. So you don't have to worry about pulling down on the right stick. You only have to worry about left and right. You're going to see that right here. They don't have any recoil, so just keep that in mind in the Goose. That'll help you hit more shots. So let's go ahead and fly back in here. We'll get back in. We talked about bounty contracts, which we're going to pay attention to. We talked about UAVs. Let's go ahead and talk about this next one right here, which is rotating to hot areas and understanding rotations in general. This is such a big thing on this game, and rotations will really help you. We're going to go in and rotate over to Hydroelectric. You know, Hydroelectric, Observatory, Village, Al Mazrah City. If you're really unsure of where to go, start pushing those directions and just kind of see what you can find. By the way, little bit of a decision right here. I believe that we did have a UAV. We could have bought one over here, which didn't dawn on me in the moment, but I am going to go ahead and buy my primary gun, which I think I was running the cast off. Yeah, I was running the cast off this game. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab the vehicle here, which vehicles are very important, guys. I really want you to start to use those more. And you don't have to get out right on top of people. You can get out further away and rotate, but it allows you to increase that mobility, allows you to drive to bounty contracts. We're just going to grab the car and drive to the other side of Hydroelectric and see what we can find. I mean, we're anticipating that people are going to be over here, and what you're going to end up seeing as I speed this up is we're going to clear here. We hear some crates. We see that a lot of doors are unopened. We're trying to see what we can find. Don't really see anything. Don't really hear anything. anything. So we're just going to go ahead and move on. Notice the bounty contract that we ping, right? 500 meters away. So that's like the next surefire piece of information that we have. Now let's talk about the next thing here, which is remembering information. This is another big one. So far we have bounty, UAV, push to hot area, remembering information. When you get a bounty contract or a UAV or something like that, you want to be taking note of as many people as possible. And this is a lot tougher for us because the lobby's smaller, but when you're in a full-size game, you know, of 150 plus people, you might be able, I think we're going to end up getting a kill right here. I don't know, I don't even know where he saw that guy, but he did. Okay, so let's go ahead and push over here. We're going to go push to bounty. When you're in a full-size game, guys, you can ping multiple teams, right? So as soon as you're done killing one team, you can go push to the next. What I'm trying to limit with you guys is wandering as much as possible. Real quick, by the way, if you haven't already, guys, make sure you are subscribed down below. I do videos just about every single day for you, helping you improve. So if you are looking to get better, make sure you are subscribed. You know, I'm trying to limit wandering as much as possible. So now we're going to grab bounty contract, and we can start to push over here. We can start going that way, and once again, he's very far away. We're right back in the car. We're right back in the car. We're going to push over. What's going to end up happening here is we get stuck. So we get a little bit stuck. What do we do now, right? Bounty's very far away. It's very simple, guys. We're just going to grab this car right here. We're going to move on. We're going to grab the next car, and we're going to keep rocking and rolling until we can figure out where that bounty is. Now, we still got a few things that we need to talk about. We still got 4 or 5 things that I want to cover, but let's go ahead and get through this fight real quick because this one drags out a little bit. And understand you're going to come up in situations where the action just finds you, and that's okay. TCAP's going to get shot in the back. We've got bounty contract over to our right here. So now we can go ahead and push in. We're playing a little bit more patient. We've got a heli over to our left. This guy's not going to hear anything, which we're going to be talking about audio in a little bit. But when we talk about audio, guys, you can't trust footstep audio, but here's the truth. Prox chat is a really good way to go about finding people as well as hearing people shooting. So when you hear enemies shooting, and you can hear those pretty far away, if you hear cluster strikes or precisions, use those to your advantage, figure out where that might be coming from, and then rotate that way and see what you can find. Then look around and see what you can find. We kill bounty, we're right back in here. What's the play? I want you to think for a second. I'm going to put you on the spot. Just think about what your play is right here. You know, we've gone through a few different things. What do? Right? There's no buy station anywhere near. So what is the play right here? And I'll tell you what the play is, which is we're going to grab the bounty contract. You know, we're going to grab this bounty contract all the way over to the right side. We don't have anything else that we can really act on at this moment. We don't really have anything. We don't have a buy station to grab a UAV. That one's actually up top on top of high rise, so a little bit tougher to get. Let's go ahead and jump into a few things. So we talked about bounties, UAVs, a little bit of audio, right, in terms of hearing people shooting. We talked about thinking about where people are and rotations. You're going to see rotations really in action a little bit later on. We also talked about remembering information. Now, just a few other things, guys. Compass. I'll see if I can highlight this a little bit later on. We don't get pings on the mini-map when people are shooting, but let me go ahead and jump forward here. We're just watching me drive around. Okay, let's go back here. Let's grab this real quick. And as we're pushing in, we're actually going to get into a fight. When people are shooting, we don't get pings on the minimap, but we do get pings on the compass. TCAP's going to end up going down here. So as we push in, I think we grab bounty contract right there. So there's the bounty contract. And as we push up here, he calmed big building, which in my mind, and this isn't a mistake by him or anything, this is just a simple miscommunication. I immediately looked at bounty and high-rise building. What he meant was we were actually getting shot from the right there. So this is where I talk about sometimes the action finds you, and that's okay. We can still win because of the pace of fights, right? They're a little bit slower. We can win back the momentum here. We can win back this fight, and it's going to take a while here, and Zach's going to end up clutching this up big time, but we're covering. We're trying to get a knock right here. We are in trios, by the way. Just keep that in mind, that we're in trios. We're in unhinged trios. They didn't team up there or anything. They're not a team of 6. They're just a team of 3. So we both go down. Probably a good window of opportunity for them to push when you have that advantage. As we peek up right here, we're going to tag just a little bit, and now we're going to trade. Zach's going to push up, and now I'm already starting to think about flank spots. Like, I play a little bit slower. I love playing the flank a lot, and it catches them off guard a lot of times. Right here, Zach's going to end up killing everybody before I can even do it. But I'm trying to think about, okay, how can I approach from a different angle than just this stairwell? And I will be doing a full video on positioning and repositioning as well, because it's one of the most important things in this game, probably in the next probably in the next week or two. I've got a lot of ideas for the next week or two. So we're going to go ahead and push up ladder here. TCAP's going to kind of give us some oversight, give us some live pings. And as I'm pushing up, I mean, there's the team wipe right there by Zach. But going back to what I was saying before, information sometimes finds you. Sure enough, what do we get? We get bounty over to our left. We also have, look up here. Look up here. You can see the guys. There they are. There they are flying. There they are flying. So now we've got another team pushing us, which makes it a little bit easier. A lot of times if you can put yourself in these engagements, you know, at least you're in the action, right? And then we start talking about execution when it comes to hitting shots, movement, positioning, repositioning, all that stuff. But once again, this is going to get messy. We're going to get clustered. I think we get clustered, then precision, then clustered. We'll jump back into some vital pieces of information again here in a second. So cluster still going. I think we then get precision if I... Oh, no, we do challenge. So that's what it was. Okay, now it's dawning on me again. So we were going back and forth about, do we push this? Do we not push this? Do we just get out of here? So now we're just going to go ahead, and now we kind of kicked off the fight right here. Boom. We're able to hit shots there. Notice that I still don't have a secondary gun that my own secondary gun. I'm not running around with the Fennec here. I'm running around with the Fleur Lockman sub. Works perfectly fine. Now we're going to try to see what we can find. I hear them. I'm just not totally sure. We do get a little bit of footstep audio here, just a little bit. And when you get that, take advantage of it because, you know, it doesn't happen all the time. So we're going to go ahead and push up here. I over-peaked this just a little bit. I over-peaked just a little bit right there. I had him broken. He had me broken. I probably should have traded. And my teammates are right here with me. Boom. There's the team wipe. Notice Zach that time on the roof took the flank and was able to kind of catch him by surprise. So, we're talking about the compass. You can use the compass. Minimap doesn't show pings, but the compass does, and I'll see if I can highlight that for you a little bit later. The other big one to highlight, just real quick, flares, right? So we have red flares in the sky. Sometimes we have yellow flares. Yellow flares mark intel contracts, aka recon contracts. Red flares mark buybacks. This is super important for Rebirth and Fortune's Keep players. We never really dealt with this before. If you see those are a great way to understand where people are. So now we're starting to think, okay, let's go ahead and grab... Why did I mark that car, by the way? Just a real quick note why I marked that car. We were going back and forth about whether we push bounty or whether we wait for bounty. It's kind of the only piece of information that we act on. There is a buy station over there, but Zone is going to be pushing in here soon. So I actually marked that car to say, okay, we have a car right here that we can use if we need to get away. So flares are going to be a big one. And then the last one, just to keep in mind, don't forget about recon drones and bomb drones, specifically recon drones, right? Everybody knows how OP bomb drones are, but don't forget, you can use recon drones to ping people and mark them for your team. Cast off right here. We're able to get that knock, and this was a pretty bad mortar strike right here. Not my best effort. And notice the second one is on minimap right there. So we can use the minimap just a little bit, guys, when it comes to like little stuff like that. For the most part, I'm not looking at my minimap much. I'm trying not to unless I have a UAV, because there's really not much information you're going to be able to get. So look at our cash flow now, guys, right? I talk about really gaining momentum. We've only got 6. You're probably looking at this like, Joe, you only have 6 kills. Endgame is going to be, we're going to pick up a lot of kills during endgame here. And it's still a somewhat healthy lobby. Keep in mind, and I don't know what we're at as a squad, but keep in mind, this wasn't a full lobby to begin with. We've got really good cash flow, so let's go ahead and push forward here a little bit. Right, we're going to quickly grab car. We're going to grab no UAV because we can't. We're going to grab Muni Box. We're going to try. We can't grab UAV. So what do you do in this scenario? I mean, we're kind of stuck in the same situation, but this is the one wandering moment. And you also want to try to limit wandering as much as possible when you're on foot. Like, that's when you're most susceptible to really being shot out in the open, and you're just really slow versus being able to take the car. Now, what do? Right? I mean, bounty contract 1,200 meters away that way, or we can play it a little bit risky. We can play it a little bit risky. You might see that somebody pinged it. You can't see it on the screen yet, but we got a bounty contract over here. So we should have enough time with gas rotating in and go back to where I started a little bit earlier, that, again, driving over, but more importantly, when we talk about UAVs, right? As we're driving over here, I'm going to go ahead and we got to kind of take the long way because of the way the bridges are, but we got a car right, or not a car, we got a buy station right here. Hey, quickly check here. Just quick. Just takes 2 seconds. Hop out. See if you can buy a UAV. If not, let's go ahead and keep moving. But if we can get it, that's going to be a huge advantage. And I don't know what the timing is for them resetting. If you don't know about the UAV exploit, sometimes, I don't know when it happens, when it doesn't happen. If you buy a UAV and then buy some like plates and close out of the buy station and then reopen the buy station, another UAV will be there. Again, it's worked for me sometimes. It hasn't worked to others. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is to making that work, but make sure you are keeping that in mind. Okay, we're going to grab bounty contract. Let's go ahead and start pushing. Like I said, guys, this is I don't know if I actually mentioned this. This is my PR game. So we're going to pick up another 10 kills for me personally, as well as a bunch of kills as a squad here. Now, as we're pushing up, we're just going straight to bounty, guys. We don't really know where anybody else is. So we're just going straight to bounty contract. And what do you see here? Bounties, UAVs, wash, rinse, repeat. That's it. That's all the goal is. We're going to let us out a little bit up top to try to figure out where this guy... Nope, just kidding. We're full sending here. We are full sending. We play up top a little bit later. We are full sending this guy. And I do want to highlight this scenario right here. As I push up, I'm going to tag him through the tent just a touch, and we push up with the Lockman sub. So one downside here, Lockman is a little bit out of the range for the 4 loot Lockman. This TTK is a little bit slower right there. What ends up happening is as I go to Thermite, I get shot in the back. Now, keep in mind that I already use Gulag. Why I want to highlight this is because of all our bounty contracts. Guys, we've got plenty of cash to buy me back. They've got a clutch up here. Definitely kind of a big component of continue our game, but they've got 17 grand. Good shots right there from TCAP, and now we're going to be able to rock and roll. There's the team wipe, so they're going to go ahead and buy me back. Oh, there we saw... Hold on, let's do this. Okay, so we got 11 kills here from Zach. We got 6 for me, 7 for TCAP, but again, we're going to finish with 10 more myself. Now we're right back in here. So 24 total in a game that, again, just a reminder, not a full lobby here. So if it's only 2/3 of the way full, but if we did get a full lobby, who knows where we'd be? We'd probably be running into a lot more players. We got 38 people still alive. Just something to highlight as I'm flying in. Get sniped in the back, right? So I clearly hear where that audio is coming from. On top of that, I believe we do end up getting a UAV here. I think we do. I'm going to buy Fennec, and this is where we can start to say we have enough cash flow to start to buy more weapons and really stack up. Now, we're going to pop UAV, and we've got a pretty big decision right here. So watch how this plays out. We're going to push up just a little bit. We're going to get to cover. Now we're going to pop UAV. First thing that we do is, okay, where do we want to go? What do you see right here? I see 2 teams to the right. I see 1 team to the left. Now, which team you want to push, that's totally up to you. But I am going to mark these guys. We've got 1 there. We've got 1 a little bit further back, so I know they're both over there. But we're going to end up pushing left. So that's why I say let's remember information, because once we get it, if we kill this team, we may not know where to go next. So we're pushing up here. We're still pushing up here. We decided to rotate on foot, and look how long it takes to get into this fight. Now we're going to go ahead, and I think we're going to pick a guy off the roof here pretty quick. I'm playing a little bit more patient, trying to get a clean knock. This guy's going to push right up the ladder, and then we have to go and challenge the rest of this team right here. I know there's 3 because of the mini-map, or because of the UAV. I'm just not 100% sure where exactly they are yet. So we'll go ahead and drop down here. I know I can survive, but we're going to go ahead and jump across and try to get into the building and see what we can find. Good timing right there, and we don't immediately go for the thirst, right? We don't want to put ourselves in a bad situation where we get killed by enemy number 3 because we're too hyper-focused on enemy number 2. So quick reload with the Fennec because, you know, doesn't have a huge mag size. I should have interrogated right there. That was a mistake. But again, I knew there was a 3rd guy around here. The last thing that I need is to go down while getting interrogated. Now we just quickly clear this building. He's got to be here somewhere, right? He's somewhere in this vicinity because A, there were 3 on radar and his team was over here. So, like, where is this guy? And I'm just going to speed this up because we end up never finding him. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. He just disappeared somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and keep pushing up. Zach's going to find one over to the left. He finally sees that guy, right? So it took us a while to figure out where he was. Now what's going to happen is this guy's going to re-peek Zach. He does a really good job of re-peeking Zach. Down right there, but I'm right on top. He gets a good live ping. There's the down. There's the team wipe. So we're just finishing up that one fight from earlier. Quick res. Now we'll go ahead and push up. Quick looting. And now as I push up here, we just get a little bit of information. One thing that I haven't talked about, guys, but this was just too obvious to say, like, this game is very much about seeing people. Yes, we can grab bounties. Yes, we can grab UAVs. But because there's less UAVs, there is a huge part of this that, like, unless you see that person, you are going to struggle. And you've got to constantly be scanning. You know, scanning up the hill, scanning where you think people are going to be, which push you in the best position possible to see them. The other thing that I will say is always keep track of your cover. That guy got... Oh, notice the one guy that gets absolutely thrown by the precision, but also notice the guy further in the back. I don't know how many kills we had right there. Maybe 29? Was that 29, 11, 10, and 8? I'm not sure, but we got this guy in the back here. And this is where I talk about rotations, right? So now we're talking about rotations. This guy has to push right to me. All I've got to do is execute here. I take a little bit more damage than I would have liked, but the cast-off's really good in this range. Just a little bit slower ADS time. Yeah, I take a little bit more damage than I would have liked, but ultimately, you know, that's a pretty easy kill right there because he absolutely has to push to us. Now, going back, there's our red flare, right? That's exactly what I was telling you guys earlier is our red flare right there. So we know somebody bought back in Hydroelectric. We've got 6 other teams right here. One of them is clearly there, and then it's about finding the 5 other teams, and especially during endgame when we talk about information, guys, remembering where teams are, because remembering where teams are allows you to determine and start to think about, okay, where are they going to rotate? Where do we need to rotate to? Who do we need to be aware of to put ourselves in the best position possible? I was joking around because I had 5 spectators at one point. Okay, so as we push up here, we're going to be very cautious of people being in Hydroelectric. We know they're around here somewhere. We just aren't totally sure where. And as I push up right here, we're going to get caught in a little bit of a tough spot for a second. A little bit of a tough spot. They are definitely backside that way. Trying to see what I can find. Don't see anything just yet. So now I'm starting to think about, okay, where do we want to be? Well, this building is actually a really good building to be in because it's in zone. But let's go ahead and keep pushing as I'm, you know, getting shot by snipers. Just a little thing when it comes to seeing people. Obviously, seeing sniper glints as well. Let's go ahead and break down this endgame because I pick up a lot here. Like I said, guys, I finished with 16 here, so we're going to pick up 5 more. Now, as I'm pushing in here, just trying to see what I can find. We're trying to clear it. We're going to clear this real quick, slowly, right? I'm going to be careful about how I clear it because you got to always be ready for everybody given the TTK. And now I'm gonna be in a little bit of a bad spot here, but we're gonna be okay. We should be fine. Actually, no, we're not. We're gonna get smoked. I forgot about that. I forgot about that one. We get absolutely smoked. Like no cover right here, guys. Right? If you were to look at this, guys, there's one team straight ahead of us. We know that team. There's 4 other teams left, right? So one here, and then +4. They gotta be on this side. Like I don't know why that was just a really dumb position to just sit right there. But we're gonna go ahead and push all the way through. We're gonna plate up, and then we're gonna be in an okay spot. We got one down below here that's going to end up pushing right out to me for kill number 12. And then let's talk about the endgame discussion that we're going to have. There's one right there. Dead, down, thirsted. Let's talk about this endgame discussion. You know, we're looking at this mini-map, and we're going, there could be people. There's definitely people across. Everybody's got to get in. I'm thinking, do we push across towards, like, this side over here? And TCAP does a great job of saying, hey, let's just take bridge. If we win bridge, we're in the best position possible. And we actually are in a really good spot. You're going to see me turn around. So I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and take bridge. And this is where we pick up a lot of kills by people not thinking about us rotating in. So I'm going to push around, and now we go to work with the cast-off. Zach's going to end up going down here. It's going to be on TCAP and I to clutch. Zach's going to go down right there. As I'm pushing up, just trying to get a little bit closer, paying attention to my cover here really well. We catch this guy out in the open. There is break. I know he's caught there, so I just need to get that down, and now we can start to, you know, use our cover to our advantage. I need to get that thirst first and foremost. There's the thirst to take that guy out. Now we're looking backside this way. There's a break. There's a down. There's a thirst. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Quick reload. There's kill number 13. Kill number 14 is going to be down below right there. Now we've got a... I always look big picture, guys. So we got 3 teams, obviously, but it's just TCAP and I. So 2v5. We got people over this way rotating in just based on shots being fired. We're still focusing on information today. We hit shots right there. There's kill number 15. We got a 2v2 situation. When we got a 2v2 situation right here with 2 teams left, very clearly a 2v1v1, right? At this point, it is our game to lose. We're looking at positioning. We're going to get into circle. A little bit of an early rotate here, knowing that they have to rotate to us based on that last circle. We just got to figure out where they are. Now, Zach did a great job calming. He said, hey, there's one under the bridge. So we know that one's going to be rotating up, and then we've got to find this next one, which we see right over to our right. We see him right there. Yep, he's shooting right there. So he's got to push exactly to us. There's that guy. Nice little snap, but we can't get the down. Guy over to the right still. Nope, now he's dead. Now he's dead. So it's just this last one right here. Guys, I hope you found today's video helpful as we're waiting this guy to push out of the gas to pick up kill number 16. I hope you found today's video helpful. Biggest things, really focus on bounty contracts. Use cars, grab bounties, use cars, grab UAVs, wash, rinse, repeat. You'll be good to go. I hope you found today's video helpful. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.